We could say that Porphyrios understood love as it is manifested in Christ's incarnation, not as an emotion that comes at no cost, but as participation in the pain and suffering of the other. You must love and suffer. Suffer for the one you love. Love makes effort for the loved one, he would say. Professor George Kroustalakis, using more contemporary terminology, speaks of empathy in Porphyrios, namely, the ability to place oneself in the situation of the other. Porphyrios understood even his own personal sufferings as participation in the suffering of Christ, as a particular way of entering into the mystery of his love. He had his gaze firmly set on the joy of the kingdom, yet all the same he did not bypass the cross. There is, I believe, a very timely truth here. In a sense, the incarnation of Christ finds completion in the cross. If Christ had not died as he did in pain and humiliation, then he would not have taken on the fullness and the uttermost depths of the human existence. He would simply have passed through the human life. He would have observed it, but he would not have made it his flesh, and thus he would not have led it to resurrection. In the Athens polyclinic at the heart of the capital, on the dividing line between the respectable and the marginalized, Porphyrios served as chaplain for 33 years, from 1940 to 1973, by his own choice. He recalled those years as blessed years, dedicated to the sick and to suffering. He thus calls into question those views that distinguish liturgical life from social solidarity, even though he did not identify himself with a theology that criticizes the social system and its unjust structures. In this regard also he was an engrafter. It is therefore of particular interest to examine his vision for the creation of a special kind of monastery. As we have mentioned, the monastery to which Porphyrios' favorite saint, Saint John Kalivitis, belonged was the Akoimetoi monastery in Constantinople, the monastery of unsleeping prayer. In this monastery, which was founded in 405, divine services and the divine liturgy were celebrated continually, day and night, by shifts of monks. The monastery that Elder Porphyrios dreamed of creating was similarly unsleeping. This was not for the sake of giving literal interpretation to St. Paul's injunction, pray unceasingly, but out of love for the world. Porphyrios envisioned a monastery in which the sick and the suffering could find refuge at literally any time of day or night. The entire rhythm of the monastic life was liturgical and at the same time oriented towards service. Prayer for the afflicted. Within this vision, the sick and the suffering were not some kind of diversion, nor were they the object of collateral interest. They were the very reason for the monastery's existence. It may be noted in passing that Alexander, the founder of the Akoimetoi monastery in Constantinople, rejected manual labor to secure the necessities of life as a diversion for his monks, whereas Elder Porphyrios both valued manual work and had practiced it himself.